Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Noelle and today we're gonna make a shirt dress. I have been kindly invited to join in this wonderful thing called Shirtwaist September, and it was started by Serena of Serena and Ashley Main Makes, and they are making shirtwaists, shirt dresses, shirts, whatever you want. Anytime in September. A long time ago I came across this Frances shirt dress that I thought was super cute from PatternSewciety. It has one bodice area and 3 skirt options. I like option B with the most full skirt, of course. So I have already taped together the pattern because it was huge. And when I say huge, I mean it takes up my whole table and probably 100 pages of printing. It does have also 3 different sleeve options, which I did print all of. Each of the skirt options comes in its own PDF, so I only printed the one I needed. And the bodice part is all the same for every view. I have never tackled a shirt dress before, let alone kind of like a men's button-up style shirt, or a women's button-up style shirt for that matter. Like, I've never made one of these, so we're gonna do a mock-up. Also, I've never sewn anything from this pattern company before, so we're gonna see which size fits me, do all that kind of stuff. I have some basic muslin in a giant ball that I will use to cut out a muslin now, and then we'll do a little fit check to see how it's going, and then we'll make the dress together. Sound good? Okay, as we mentioned before, the skirts are huge, so I don't know that I need to cut those out. I still might do it, but I mean, I have more muslin than this, but I might also just cut out the tops of them. I might not cut it out. The bodice is the part that I'm worried about the fit for. So I'm gonna cut that out first, sew it together, and see what we can see. Okay, so we have the pattern pieces all cut out. I am trying to determine if I'm going to put some interfacing into these to see how they work with the interfacing. I kind of think I should just do that so that I know what it looks like, and if that means I have to get more interfacing, then I have to get more interfacing. Anyway, I am gonna go ahead and transfer all the markings, do the darts, possibly create some interfaced pieces. This button stand needs to be interfaced, etc. So I gotta figure all this out, and then I can give it a good try on. Okay, I am pausing here because this is the inside, as you can see, because the dart, you know, I'm gonna dart it up this way. And I folded this in twice. This is the button stand. And I'm mostly here to say that I actually agree with a couple of the tutorials that I was looking at. I looked at a few just to see, you know, if there's anything weird about doing this. Cool, not really. And they said fold it to the outside, not to the inside, because then it looks like you can see the edge of it and stuff, and it makes it stand out more and stuff. And I agree. Like, this side is not as neat looking as this side. I don't know if you guys agree, but I'm gonna agree. So when I do my real one, I'm gonna fold it to the outside. Okay, before putting the collar on and the sleeves to see how they look, I decided to do a little try on. Sorry you're getting the tum, but this is part of life. I actually think this fits great. Like, seems like a shirt to me. Seems like it fits good. This dart that's here could possibly take more out of it to get a more rounded fit, but I'm gonna put the sleeve in first and see how that actually sits, and like how much of it gets taken up by the sleeve head and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to do a little sanity check to see what's going on here and if we like this fit and all that jazz. And so far so good. It does fit good. I think I'm satisfied with it. Back looks good. I got no complaints. So aces so far. Okay, we are back with a full sleeve set on both of them. This one's a little snug, so might let out like some of the seam allowance just a little bit around the edge and maybe down the sleeve. This one actually fits really great. I'm kind of shook at how good the bodice fits. Like, it fits here really well. There's not, like, there's weird wrinkling, but that's because there's pins in here, so, you know, that's gonna happen. But the back looks good. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, what? This fits really good. I mean, and this part will be pulled down just a little bit by the weight of the skirt. So I feel like we're good. I might make some minor sleeve adjustments just in seam allowance on just maybe the left side, maybe both, I don't know. But like, there's nothing for me to fix here, so cool. So it seems like it is time to cut into my fabric. I'm gonna show it to you and then I need to send it into the wash. So let's have a look. So I actually got two because I didn't know which one I would want, and maybe I want both. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make it out of this one, which is a goth Barbie plaid situation. Gingham? Is this gingham, or I guess, is it a plaid? Is it a gingham? This is a plaid for sure. I'm gonna do this guy first because it is the most similar to the material I just used. I think it's gonna be fun and excellent and lightweight. This is just a light cotton, should be good. I also got this beautiful number, which is flannel. So this one turns out well and I really like it. I can make another one out of this flannel, and I'm also gonna try to put a hood on it, I think. So that's the plan. I also went to Joann and got a bunch of interfacing because I always have, from the project before, whatever I need, minus 6 inches. So I just bought 5 yards of medium and light, because when you make these things, they tell you use a suitable interfacing, and I'm like, ma'am, I do not know what a suitable interfacing is. I used a medium interfacing for the mock-up fabric. It was great. It was very stiff, so I'm gonna try both light and medium on a scrap of this guy after I get it cut out to see how that feels and if I like one better than the other, but I did do some purchasing. All right, so I'm gonna throw this one in the wash just to get it pre-shrunk, and then clean up this area so that I have a great cutting surface. I guess I should give you guys the story of how Shirtwaist September came into being. Legend has it that Serena made a video where she made a shirt dress, and then she said something to the effect of dresses are great because they look good on everyone, they're sort of universally flattering, blah blah blah. The internet, then being the internet, decided that she was wrong and decided to flood her comments with all kinds of gross words about how they don't work well on plus size people and how they were not flattering, blah blah blah. This obviously made Serena and Ashley want to challenge that notion, and thus was born Shirtwaist September. When Ashley contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do this, I was not sure if I had the spoons for it. But the more I thought about it, the crankier it made me. Bullying people on the internet is gross, especially when you're criticizing body shapes. I do not stand for that. It can really ruin people's mental health, cause them to spiral, and go kind of out of control, especially when otherwise they'd be having a perfectly good day. So here I am making a shirt dress not only to prove these people wrong, but also to say that being rude on the internet is something that does real harm to a lot of people, and actively standing up to it and reminding people to take care with their words is important, especially in this day and age. And that ties in beautifully with the sponsor of today's video, who is BetterHelp. You don't need to have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety to benefit from therapy. Think of therapy as a tool for personal growth. It helps you better understand yourself, develop healthier habits, and learn effective ways to cope and solve problems, thus improving your mental and emotional well-being. BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. It is a platform where therapists and their clients can communicate effectively and get the most out of their therapy. Starting therapy is easy with BetterHelp. Fill out a questionnaire and you will match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. There's a journal inside the platform for personal reflection, and there are group sessions on a number of different topics available every single day. They carefully make sure therapists on their platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you ever have any questions at all. If you're struggling and think you'd benefit from a therapy session, click on the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/NoelCostumingDrama and get 10% off of your first month of therapy. Thank you for sponsoring this video, BetterHelp. Okay, she is out of the washer dryer. She washed and dried beautifully, so I'm excited, and I'm gonna go get to cutting. So I need to get 4 skirt pieces out of this in some fashion, which I think, because the grain line is straight down the middle, it's like not like that, which would be the normal way. I think I do have to cut them maybe individually. I could probably do a fold exactly the right size, cut 2 at a time, which would be fine. So I'm gonna set that up, get it working, and get this guy cut out. Also, for those of you interested, I did start the list up. So, and I immediately forgot some things. I haven't figured out if I'm gonna do this zigzag or not. I am still thinking about how I'm gonna do my seam finishes. Alrighty, we have everything cut out into cute little piles. This is all the small stuff. This is all the big stuff. And the first thing I'm going to do is stay stitch the armholes, neck holes, and the top of the skirt just so it doesn't stretch out, because that's definitely on the bias. I also ran a little test here with both of my interfacings. So this is the medium and this is the lightweight. And what I did was, you know, basically make a collar or a cuff or whatever here, just this like exactly how it's going to be. And then I washed it to see what that would do to it and see, you know, because that's definitely going to soften it up. I definitely do like the medium weight for the collar and the button stand because it's a little bit stiffer. It seems like it'll last longer, keep everything like on the straight and narrow. This guy, the light, may be good for the belt area, I think, because I definitely want that to have a little bit more, like it's going to go around my waist, I'm going to sit down, and I want it to just be a little bit more chill, so probably I will cut the waist out of this lightweight. I'm going to think about the cuffs while I do other stuff, but I will have to cut this stuff in just a minute. I've done a bunch of prep work here, so I have all of the interfacing cut and sewn on. I also have all the darts sewn in, as you can see right here, and down here. So that's all taken care of. There's a pile of stuff there. So let's go look at the board and see what we can mark off, because I bet you there's a lot. Indeed, we can cut fabric, cut interfacing, we did stay stitching, we marked the darts, and we sewed the darts, and we applied the interfacing. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna move on to actual stitching now, which is great. Okay, the first thing we need to do is bodice. Basically the side seams and the shoulder seam are just getting done. Cool, so that's taken care of, and also the center back of the skirt seam. I'm going to do these all with French seams. Alrighty, we got the bodice side seams and shoulder seams sewn with French seams, so they're nice and tidy. Also the back seam of the skirt. Could I have pattern matched all of this? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not that good at it. But also, I think this guy is going to be, it's a circle skirt, so it's very full, so it's all going to fall in all kinds of ways. I don't think it's going to matter, so. Now it's time to put the pockets in and sew up the side seams. I'm also going to try to do those French seam style, so wish me luck. Okay, I have shown this before, but I will do it one more time just in case anybody needs it. This is sewing the pockets in with French seams. I learned this a long time ago from a tutorial by, I think, a place called Kittenish Behavior. So I'm definitely on the wrong side because here's my French seam. And the first thing you do essentially is French seam in your pocket. So this is actually wrong side to wrong side. So the right sides are out, which is how French seams are. So I'm gonna do 1/4 of an inch here. And maybe just a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, because it's actually kind of good if you get it to lay inside the dress. And so if you can get it even less than 1/4 of an inch, you should. And then you trim it down, you open it up, flip it back around to do right sides to right sides, and do the same thing. And you just do the pockets on all 4 sides. And then when you sew the skirt together, you sew down around the pocket and down, French seaming it, and then flip it inside out and do the same thing. And the pocket will magically be inside and everything will be French seamed. So that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, we've sewn on the pockets and the skirt seams are done. So now is the combining of them together. Well, I've already made a mistake. Cool. I just realized I should have put the interfacing on the button stands on the outside, like I said when I was doing my mock-up, and I didn't do it. I was so fixated on making sure, because French seams, you know, you gotta start backwards. And that's always sketchy. Like, I can't tell you how many times I made French seams backwards because I started right sides together instead of right sides out. I was so fixated on that I like completely forgot about the situation with the button stands and wanting the interfacing to be on the outside so I could roll the button stands. Is that what they're called? I think so. To the outside. I didn't do it. Cool. Rad. Love that for me. Boo. Could I fix this at this point? Can I take this off? Is that a thing? Could I cut new interfacing and put it on the outside? I'm gonna go check into that. The answer to that was yes, I can pull these off. So I'm pulling them off and I'm gonna recut some more interfacing and stick it on the side that I want to so that I can have the effect that I want to. That was easier than I thought it was gonna be, so yay, but mistakes can happen. Okay, problem solved, everything's repaired. Now it's time to sew the bodice to the skirt. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually go through and zigzag this guy. The top of the skirt already has a line of stay stitching, and so it's not fraying very badly, but this guy is starting to fray, so I think I'm going to do that for here. Maybe I will do that there also. We'll see. Okay, Brunhilde has entered the chat in order to show you that we are together and everything went pretty smoothly. One thing that I think I'm going to do before I create the button stands here is go ahead and put a tape onto that pocket there because it's kind of flapping around here, like maybe here, and then attach that to the waistline so it can be held up instead of doing that inside my dress because that doesn't seem like a good idea. So I'm dealing with the seam allowance here of the inside by folding them both over and then stitching them down. I did it on some part of this here already, so it's just like taken care of, kind of. Cool. And I'm realizing I can't do the thing I want to do, which is roll this to the outside instead of the inside. So these are now on the outside, but if I do that, the seam allowance is going to be showing on the outside. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that doesn't look right. So cool. I think I have to take this all off again, including where I stitched here, and then reapply it again, but on the inside, because I don't think you can do it the other way. Someone did it in a blog post, so maybe I'll go check that out and see how they did it, but this is all very confusing. Alrighty, we have this back on, and I realized why the example could fold to the outside at all, and it was because they were making a shirt, not a shirt dress. Like, it didn't have a seam in the middle, and if you don't have a seam, you can double fold it out. Anyway, I'm now going to double fold this in and top stitch it to make the button stands, and then move on from there. Button stands are on. This is what she looks like currently. Oh, there's my poof. And now we're going to make the collar. Already, it's a two-part collar that we're going to work on right now. So the first thing I need to do is take these two pieces and sew along the edge and then turn it inside out. And we have the upper collar here that has been edge stitched down, and we're attaching the lower collar. And how you do that is it's upside down to it currently. So we're going to sew all the way around this edge, and this is going to catch the top edge of the lower collar and the bottom edge of the upper collar, and then you flip this down and it's ready to attach to the shirt. Hopefully that makes sense. And here we have the collar fully formed. I stitched around this curve, along here, and around this curve, and then I flipped it back over. This side was pressed in already, so what you're going to do is essentially sew this down onto the shirt and then flip it over and then just top stitch this whole thing on, and it'll look beautiful. So I'm excited. This is getting pretty close. Boop. Okay, so I sewed it on, as I said, and then I flipped it back over. Here's the side that was like tucked under, and it's now pinned to the outside. And we're just gonna top stitch around this tiny little lower collar, and then we're good to go. Alrighty, we have a collar on, which is very exciting. So this is what she looks like. You're gonna spin or you're gonna fall down. I put this little tuck in here because I had somehow a little bit too much. So I'm like, cool, just gonna stick a tuck in there. And I think that works out nicely. Cool. But anyway, this is all top stitched and lovely, and we've got this done. Alrighty, we're moving on to sleeves. I have cut the slit. As you can see, there is both, maybe you can see, there's both a slit and a tuck, so this will get tucked in together at some point. And so the first thing you do is bind the slit. Here's the slit binding mechanism. So you just spread this out and sew it on one side and then flip it over you know, it's just like a bound edge. No big deal. So I need to do that on both of these and then tuck, you know, pinch these together so that's like a box pleat essentially, and sew that down. And then also do some from this point to this point, sew some easing stitches so that I can ease the sleeve cuff in. Nope, not cuff, sleeve head in to the arm when I put it in. And I think that is the complete prep of the sleeve, because I think you put the cuff on after the sleeves are in, which I think is bizarre, but okay, sure. And we have 2 sleeves, totally created. I did French seams on these guys also. I keep adding things that I realize I have to do. Ugh. Alrighty, we're at a point where I can do things kind of out of order, and it's too late right now to be setting sleeves, because that seems like a recipe for disaster. So I did put the cuffs on, and I might go ahead and do the hem, we'll see. Get a little serotonin, boop. Alright, so I think in the middle of the night I started working on the hem, you know, as a way to avoid putting in the sleeves, and then just gave up. So I think what I'm going to do now is work on this hem and get it all ironed up and do a blind hem on it so that that part is done. It's an inch hem, and then you fold that back down so it ends up being a ½ inch. Every single time I have to do a blind hem, I have to learn how to do it again. I don't know why, but that's how it is. After many failed attempts, I have figured out how to do a blind hem. There's all these stitches that look exactly the same on my machine, so I have to like try them all and be like, nope, that's not the one. Oh, that is the one. It just requires a bunch of prep work, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some of that. So this is what I mean. You have to flip it over, and I like to pin it. This is your double fold hem here, and you just flip it over, and you have to leave a little bit of room because your stitching goes along this line and then grabs a little bit of that, and then goes along and grabs a little bit of that, but you don't want the main stitching to show on this guy. So I just spend a bunch of time sitting here precisely pinning it so that it's a nice experience, because if you don't do it right, it won't catch. It's a fussy thing. And we have a very lovely blind hem. Okay, that's all done. Great. Alrighty, I have a sleeve. I'm like buttoned in? Nope, pinned in. I'm gonna go ahead and try to sew her down. See how that goes. Alrighty, we have some sleeves on here, so we're cooking right along. There we go. So the instructions for the belt do not have it having any interfacing. I don't know about that. I think I want interfacing. I think I'm gonna use the light interfacing and make up the belt with a light interfacing. Yeah. Is this just like a strip of fabric? And yeah, that totally works for like 18th century, but like also it gets mashed down. So I like to have it have any structure whatsoever, and this material is so like thin that I think actually it's kind of necessary in this case. Could I have planned this better? Yes. Yes, I could. This is the seam in the middle of the belt in the back. Rad. Doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm going to keep this belt anyway. I have a whole bunch of questions I'll go over with you in just a second, but I'm just going to finish this guy up so that it exists and we can try it on as the pattern suggests. Belt is done. So excited. I don't hate it. I'm not like in love with this belt. I'm also kind of weirded out that there's no instructions for belt loops anywhere. I'm definitely going to add those later, but for right now, this is fine. Okay, so I guess we have to do buttons now. We have to make decisions. Gross. I hate that. My buttonholer is like whack. Something is happening here. I have to get my machine serviced, I'm pretty sure. I'll get my other machine out and sort of do them half manually. But anyway, this is how they have them set, which is every 2 3/4 inches. And I am like, wow, that's really far apart. This is every 2 inches, and that seems better, but maybe kind of dense? Question mark. So maybe somewhere in between these two is where I want to be. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get my sewing machine and then just crank out some buttonholes. Fun times. Buttonholes are in. Very excited. Thank you to Grandma's machine for making this possible. Hell yeah, Bernina. And now for my last mission, to get some buttons on there. She's done. I will give you a full view in just a minute, but I wanted to give satisfaction to everybody by showing you the board. This guy for me, this guy for me, this for all the people that want to see it wiped clean, because we are donezo. So excited. Very hard to get landscape with my full body in the frame in this room where I'm not like this wide. Like, you can't fill the frame. That's not how landscape works. Anyway, I am very impressed with her. I like her a lot. She's very comfortable. Do like this pattern. It fit out the gate. This one, I think I mentioned that I had a little extra room in the back and I did that tuck in the back. The overall, like, I think the front of this stretched out a little bit. So it's actually even looser than the mock-up made it seem, or something about it. I don't know, it was cut the exact same way. It's a little bit bigger. I kind of like that. It's very roomy. I do think that's very cool. I also got told by Erica and Morgan that I could very easily wear this like open over jeans and a t-shirt as like kind of a very light jacket, like a very funky punk jacket, which I like. I have more of this material, so I might make a headband. I will not probably wear it with this dress because I think that's a lot, but I'm excited to have it in this pattern, which is really cool. So I'll probably be doing that shortly. So what did I actually end up changing? The only thing I did was I made the sleeves just a little bit wider, like on the pattern piece. I added 1/4 inch on each side, so I added a total of a 1/2 inch to the sleeves just to make them a little bit more loosey-goosey, and I am grateful for that. What would I change? The belt is really wide, like pretty wide, so, and it seems to get wider the bigger the size of the dress that you're cutting out, and I'm like, I get that to some extent, but like not to the extent that it grows bigger, so I might make a narrower belt next time, or even just put a different belt with this guy. Anything else I would change about it? Not really. I think the pocket thing with having it be supported is kind of important. I might raise the pockets about 2 inches. I did make a note to myself in my pattern to go ahead and raise those about 2 inches because they're pretty low. They're like, I can't actually put my hands down straight and reach the bottom of the pocket, so that's okay. I enjoy having pockets, and there's a note in there that says, hey, you might want to raise these up, and I just was like, nah, that's probably fine. I was wrong. But yeah, I think it's a really cute dress. Am I gonna make the other one? Maybe we'll see. I might just do that. If so, I want to figure out how to put a hoodie hood on it, because I think it would be cool if it was actually a hoodie. Yeah. I could also see making this with a double circle. I'm not gonna do that, but I could totally see making this with a double circle. Just get so much circle skirt. I also think that you could wear this with a petticoat and it would be super cute. Like, the bigger the petticoat, the better kind of thing. Like, just full on embrace 50s style. So yeah. Anyway, I had a really good time making this. I think it's a cute pattern. It came together super easily. It fits true to form. Like, I would recommend this pattern for anybody. I will obviously link it down below. And also Serena and Ashley, who sponsored the Shirtwaist September situation that is going on. And of course, BetterHelp. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Anyway, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye guys!